Hey guys, welcome back to Tango Romeo 87. Today's video is going to be a little different. Today we're talking about basic preparedness and survival in the event that you find yourself or your family put out of your house, or the water system's cut off, the electric's cut off, storms, earthquakes, forest fires, or unfortunately the floods like we saw down in Appalachia, where our brothers and sisters in North Carolina went through some really tough times. They found out quick the government wasn't going to snap to and show up the next day. Some of these places were inaccessible and still are. But you've got to be able to make sure that your family has the basics it needs to survive at least the initial onslaught when a natural disaster occurs or some sort of breakdown occurs. We're not going to get into the zombie apocalypse and nuclear bomb shelters in your backyard. We're not doing that type of survival videos. But this is going to be a multi-part series, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified, and get ready to find out how you can affordably and easily prepare your family with bags that you can grab on your way out the door that may make the difference between life, death, or at the very least, a lot of suffering. So let's head up to the truck, because today we're going to talk about water filtration and how to get safe water. You know, 3 days is all you're going to go without water, with 1 or 2 horrible suffering days in there to make it just that much more miserable. So we've always been somewhat prepared, because Tracy and I have been through a flood. We've been through a derecho, which was like a very short tornado, and spent multiple weeks without any type of electricity or any outside help other than neighbors. So we've always stayed somewhat prepared, and we want to help you get there. So like I said, hit the subscribe button, because we're going to cover food, water, shelter, all of the things that you need in these upcoming videos for just a quick way to take care of yourself. Even the government now says you ought to have 30 days of supplies on hand, and we're going to show you how you can get ready to do that. So let's head up to the truck and go look at some of the methods we have for safe water that are fast and easy. Water, the most essential element on earth for human survival. We can go about 2 weeks without a bite of food. We can be really resilient without any type of shelter. But when it comes to water, 3 days is it. There are already cases down in North Carolina where people are just drinking tainted water. It's running off a stream or coming out of a spring. And in some cases, I think I read somewhere where even a couple wells that people were just dipping in water and drinking it, because look, when you get thirsty, you're going to try something. And the water that we had earlier in the video looks clean as it can be, but we don't know, because upstream wildlife has died, and that filters into the water. Down there, there's human bodies that have decomposed in the water. There's all kinds of junk and rotten food that came out of people's houses and freezers that have filtered into that water, and you don't want to drink it in any way, shape, or form. Even a fresh mountain stream coming off the top of a mountain, bird droppings, dead animals, decomposition, leaves, wood, the water may not be that good, and bacteria can grow in that water. So you need to filter the water to make sure that you're safe. Now I will say, before we get in depth into some of the methods that we have here that are pretty easy, that you want to make sure that you find water that's moving and not stagnant. Stagnant water produces a whole lot more germs and bacteria that are harmful to you. And if you're in a situation like North Carolina where there was a flood, or you're in an area where there was an earthquake and a flood and a tornado and all those things, try to stay away from the big bodies of water that flooded, because that's where the most of the debris has filtered into. And try to find you a nice stream that just runs off the mountain, or a spring that shoots out of a hillside. Find the cleanest water possible before you filter it. You're trying to survive, you're waiting on water, so you get a case of water, you store it. Heavy, hard to move. And if you only have a few bottles on hand when the emergency occurs, now you're waiting for somebody to come along and bring you a case of water. We see a lot of that. We always see in disasters people bringing in water, water, water. Let's hope they can get it to you. Some of those folks were so remote they couldn't get that water into them. Bottled water, you can store gallons of water. And Tracy and I keep these on hand. We usually keep about 10 of these at the house filled. And that way we've got plenty of water on hand. But let's just say you get separated from your stores, or you didn't have any, and no one can come up and bring you any right away. So now you need to be able to take the water that's in that creek and turn it into something that you can use. Now we've got several methods that we prefer. The easiest, fastest way is the Sawyer mini filters. These things are good for 100,000 gallons of water filtered each if you backwash them regularly and follow the instructions. And we'll do a demonstration on those shortly. Water purification tablets. Great way to go. Anybody who's ever used these in the military or you've used them out camping or whatever, they have a strong iodine taste, I think. But this system right here, first it filters the water, and then it's got a second tablet that removes the iodine taste and the discoloration. And a bigger system even is, you may have heard of Berkey filters or British Berkfield, the ceramic filters. I don't buy the expensive stainless steel tank, I just buy the filters. And in a little bit we'll discuss how you can build something that filters 5 gallons of water while you sleep at night. So let's just quit yakking about it and let's get down to the fact where we show you how simple it is to filter some of this water. And stay tuned in the video, because at some point later in the video we're going to talk about a giveaway where, based on the comments on the video, you'll automatically be registered for a giveaway, and we'll be giving away a mini filtration system to one of the viewers of the channel that makes a comment on the page, and that'll be about a $50 value. So stick around, watch the video, make sure you get yourself registered for that giveaway. Let's move on and go filter some water. Okay, the first thing we want to do is go down to the creek, find an area where the water is moving, clean out any leaves or debris from there we're going to dip, and get us a bucket of water. Okay, so we have a bucket of water, about 4 gallons of water in that. There was a crawdad in the creek right while I was dipping this. Really glad he didn't jump in my bucket. As you can see, I don't know how well you can see it. It's pretty clear. We got it out of a running area, and it is a pretty good mountain stream. Upstream is Sherwood Lake. They do filter some things into this creek that, if you knew about it, you wouldn't want to just drink the water straight up, but we can make it safe. So the first system we're going to talk about today is the Sawyer mini filter system, because I really like it. Now I've got one already opened here, so I'll get it out. It comes with a bag that you can put dirty water in to filter. It comes with the filter itself. It comes with a straw so you can drink directly out of the creek. If you need to get a drink, you got this in your backpack. You put the straw on it and it filters the water that you drink immediately. And then it has this syringe for backwashing the filter when you're done with it. If you're done with it, like going to store it, you need a little bit of bleach, but the instructions are printed clearly on the bag, and this system is a good system. The hardest part is getting creek water into this bag. If you just dip it where there's no air in it, it doesn't really fill up. So we'll use this bottle, and we should be able to fill it pretty easily, and we'll pour some creek water into our filter bag. Now, just fill your bag up. And that about fills that bag completely. Now, you put your filter on and there's a flow. So you want the flow away from the bag. Screw the bag on. Screw your filter on. Make sure your flow is away, and you can take your safety cap off. Now, I brought a clean mason jar with us today. This system, you can either let this drip, you can drink out of a straw, or you can gently squeeze. This is a squeeze bag, but you're not trying to squeeze it to bust the bag. Just simply turn it up over your clean container. Another note, we learned this. If you dip the bag in anything, wipe the bag off, so that none of the dirty water drips into your container that you end up having to drink. So just put the bag up here and squeeze. And as you can see, pretty quickly we're going to have a drink. There you go, guys. Like that, we have a clean jar of water ready to drink. Tastes like good water. I trust these Sawyer filters. They're used worldwide, but it is the fastest way to get you some drinking water, or get drinking water for you, your family, your children, in the event that you don't have any more of this bottled water left. Now I'll bring something up. I see a lot of people down there going, I don't have to worry about that. I see people in North Carolina, I have a well. I see people on forums online and social media like, I don't worry about that, I have a well. But let's talk about wells for a minute. Don't drink this water, it's still dirty. Here's your yard, your house didn't flood. Your well casing's here. Down here is where your neighbors were, and their house flooded or got washed away completely, and they have a well casing in their yard. That well gets compromised, and that water's pouring into that well, and it's in the same aquifer that yours is into. I wouldn't trust drinking out of that well until you have that well sterilized and you have that water tested at your local extension office or health department to make sure that your well is still safe to drink out of. Now, the other method that we have, we'll go ahead and dip out another bottle here, and we'll fill this completely full. Now this method is completely safe standalone. The next method is completely safe standalone, or if you just want that extra assurance that the water you're drinking is going to be okay, then you can take the extra step. We'll put our filter back in. And we'll go ahead and continue to make a quart of water here. So as you can see, that quickly, we've made a quart of water with a bunch of talking in between. Now, in case you didn't pay attention in class, sit up and listen. 4 quarts make a gallon. So in very short order, you could have a gallon of water on hand. You'd have this jar completely filled up with safe filtered water that your family could go to and pour a drink of water out of, or you could cook with. It wouldn't take you that long using this method to fill up a 5-gallon container and have 5 gallons of water on hand. Talk a little bit more about that later. Now, in the interest of it takes a little while to do this, this is the Coughlin's 2-step drinking water. Now I'm putting links below to everything we're using today so that you can easily go onto Amazon and pick these things out. Now these are made for quarts of water, but they also make one that'll do 4 gallons of water at one time, so you don't use as many of the tablets. But if you're not completely convinced, looks like a little bit too much creek water in there. That's better. Man, that water's cold and tasty. And I know that I got the bacteria out of it. Now, there's 2 bottles in this kit. This one is emergency drinking water germicidal tablets that'll take out all the things that make you sick. The people down in North Carolina that were drinking tainted water, pretty sick, man. You're not getting out of the bathroom, and if untreated in certain cases, can even kill you. But the people that don't die wish they could. And then this is a neutralizer that takes the color and the flavor away. And I'll show you how this works. For a quart of water, it says on here, for a quart of water, it's a violation of federal law. So, to 1 quart of water, we want to put 2 tablets to 1 quart of water. Tablets are not very big, and iodine, guys, is the base for most of your water purification tablets. Big words I can't read. The tablets themselves are only this big. 2 of those dropped into here. Now what they'll tell you to do is cap it, and unfortunately I didn't bring a lid with me today. And shake it a little bit. Let it sit in there for 30 minutes before you touch it. So set a timer. You know how it works. Hey Siri, set a timer. Or hey Google, set a timer. Or do it the old-fashioned way and look at your watch or look at your phone. So that's going to sit for 30 minutes. We've covered the well water. We've covered the creek water. And I can't say it enough. Stay away from stagnant water or water that was part of a massive flood, like a river that flooded out of its banks that still has a murky, milky. The cleaner the water you get, the safer it's going to be. And stick around. We're still going to do the giveaway and explain how that works here shortly in a couple parts. Now, we filtered a quart of water pretty quick with the Sawyer system, and I'll put links below so that you can find those. We've used the germicide tablets, which don't require this filter, and this filter doesn't require these tablets. But if you're paranoid, filter it with a filter and then put some drops into it. And that way you know you're safe, although I don't worry. The next system that we want to talk about is the slowest of all the systems. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way here. And I will take this apart and show you how it works. Okay, this is a more expensive method of water filtration, but it also gets more out of the water than about anything else. They sell these ceramic filters, and they also sell a black filter that'll remove chemicals like pesticides, gasoline, and all that. And if I had the black filters with me today, I would filter the water through the black filters first, and then I'd dump it again in through the ceramic filters, because I'd want to make sure that while I was surviving, I wasn't getting sick. Now you can buy these on Amazon. They're going to cost you a few bucks. And be careful of the imitators out there that just sell a carbon filter that looks like this to take chlorine out. You want to get either the British Berkfield or Berkey rated filters. Berkey, not Berkeley, but Berkey, or British Berkfield filters that actually filter out all the germ elements and the nasty stuff that you don't want in your water. Now, these are made in England. These are British Berkfield filters, and I will put a link below. But like I said, these cost a little more money, but they're pretty easy to store in this system. What I did was just take some, and I have a blue one and an orange one, so I'm not endorsed by anybody. Take a bucket and drill 4 holes. If you have 2 filters, 2 holes in the bottom of it. Okay? Then you get one of the black lids and you drill some bigger holes in it, because these bottoms have to fit through those holes. And they're just about as big as the seal on it, but they can be a little bigger. These holes just have to be big enough to get the spout through, and then there's a rubber gasket that keeps any water from bypassing. Once you get it all together, make sure that you have wow, there's a lot of threads on that screw. Okay, once you get ready to put it together, make sure that this rubber gasket, it's a real spongy gasket, is inside the bucket. Put your piece through, and you don't want to strip things out or warp your bucket, but put them in there good and stout so that you don't have any bypass of the water coming around that rubber gasket, so they get really snug. Okay? Now to make this system work, when you go to buy a Berkey system or British Berkfield, it comes with a smaller stainless steel container. I think it holds 3 gallons, and it has a top piece and a bottom piece and a spout on it. And man, they get you for that. It's cheaper to buy the filters and build your own system. take the lid with the bucket with the holes in it, an empty clean bucket. Make sure this has never had creek water in it. That's a clean bucket. If you ever question it, wash it out with a good amount of bleach water and rinse it really well with clean water. Set that bucket on top. Set that lid on top of this bucket, and then all of these will line up with the holes in your 5-gallon bucket. Okay? This is a slow system. It drip, 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 drip. Start it in the evening, get up in the morning and have water. Start filling up your 5-gallon container the next day and keep this thing running, and you'll have water to wash with, water to do your dishes with, water to cook with. And with this system, if you have both systems, you're never going to run out of good drinking water. And I'll bring this over here. You can see we're starting to get some discoloration from the tablets. So we'll put the lid on. And we'll mix that up, and you can see it's starting to turn yellow. Has a little bit of iodine smell to it. All right, so back to this bucket that we're not advertising for. Then just take 5 gallons of water, pour it into your homemade ceramic filter bucket. If you need to, run down to the creek, fill your bucket up again, top this bad boy off. The fuller it is, the faster it runs, but like I said, it's not fast. Now I have a blank lid, just a plain old blank lid that I put on top that just keeps leaves and debris from falling in. And I'll set that inside the tent or the camper or wherever that it's going to be warm, and just let that thing drip. That pretty much wraps up the three filtration methods I use. Well, 4 really. If you count the funnel and a coffee filter, you get debris out of your water. The thing I like about the Sawyer filters is that's a 2-pack. Each of those are 100,000 gallons of water if they're backwashed properly and kept in good, safe condition. Whether you're trying to survive the apocalypse, which was the floods in North Carolina, or you're just out hiking or biking along rivers and water, you don't have to carry as much water with you if you have a Sawyer filter. You can always fill your bottles back up if you have a water source. Now, if you listen real carefully, don't know if you can hear that, but that's the sound of the Berkey dripping. And when I say it drips, that's it dripping. It's not fast, but it is safe, clean water once that bucket's full. So that's our methods. I'll cover now how we're going to do the giveaway on the Sawyer filter, so that some lucky winner will have these on hand in the event that there's an emergency. We'll let this sit for a little while longer to get its full 30 minutes. You can see that if I get something white, that it's a pretty discolored water, and after 30 minutes it's safe to drink that way, but looks bad. We'll take 2 of these, which are white, not any bigger than the other ones that you saw, and drop these into the water. And that's all it's for, is to neutralize the color and the taste. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The weather patterns are getting a little bit crazy these days, and we're going to see bigger storms, hurricanes that do strange things, forest fires, tornadoes, earthquakes, name the natural disaster, mudslides, rock slides, just anything. It could be a terrorist attack, could be just a disruption in the flow of things. So stay with the channel, because we're going to cover the water today. We're going to cover simple food, methods to heat it and eat it, or just eat it without heating it. We're going to cover emergency shelter that you can pack and take with you. We could, with a little bit of notice, in 30 minutes we could load our vehicles and head off to a safe location, and we would easily be able to survive 30 days there, and probably help a few neighbors along the way. But help's got to come eventually, right? We're going to cover ways to stay warm if you're stuck out in the wintertime, like a lot of those people in the mountains. When I slept on this very site last week, the temperatures were in the 20s at night, and my tent stayed a little over 60, 65 degrees all night long. I slept like a baby. We ate good, and we did okay. Okay guys, magic before your eyes. We'll shake this one more time. The little tablets are still in there, but just give you an idea how much difference we have in the color of that water. Water's filtered. We of course ran this through our Sawyer filter, and then we ran it through, then we dropped the germicidal tablets in, and then we put the white tablets in to get the color and taste gone. Man, that's good water. I'll put links below to all this stuff because everything's cheap enough that you should never have to worry about whether you have fresh water. And if you are afraid that your well gets contaminated in a storm, same filtration methods work on that too. So stick around. We're going to talk about the giveaway and tell you what's coming up in some of the upcoming videos. Hope you learned something. The little Berkey's dripping. Probably got water in it about that deep now. If we kept it all night in our tent or kitchen or somewhere warm, we'd have 5 gallons of water tomorrow morning. One thing I do want to cover before I go away that's important, because you're filtering water through these elements, ceramics, fibers, however you're doing these filters, don't let them freeze. If they freeze, they're destroyed. They'll no longer filter water. So keep it somewhere warm. If you don't have anywhere warm to keep it because you're finding yourself surviving in the winter, just keep it in your pocket. Keep it with you in your sleeping bag at night. These, not so much. Filter, Sawyer system, water tablets, Berkey. This is the most expensive of the systems, but I think you saw with this affordable system how fast you can filter water. 2 squeeze bottles, quart of water. So 8 squeeze bottles, gallon of water. Wouldn't take you long to be caught up. Get rid of that water. Now when you take these home and you're done with them, follow the backwash instructions. Clean this out with a little bit of bleach water, backwash your filter and put it away so that it's ready in the event that you have an emergency. So let's get on to the good part. Let's go talk about the giveaway and how you can get yourself a 2-pack of Sawyer water filters that can filter up to 200,000 gallons of water quickly, easily, and make you feel a little bit safer and give you some peace of mind in the event that you run into a problem with no water. Okay guys, let's talk about the free giveaway. The Sawyer mini filters, it's a 2-pack. It has 2 bags, 2 straws, 2 backwash systems, and 2 filters, which is roughly 200,000 gallons of water that could be filtered. Great for bike packing, hiking, camping, or surviving when you can't get water. We're going to give, and this is like a $50 value. There's links below if you want to just go ahead and buy it, but we're going to give it away. When we get 100 comments on the video, we'll pick somebody who's commented on the video, commented on the filters, commented on a situation you had with water, or just a comment to say, hey, I liked the video, or even if you put, boo, I didn't like this video, you're entered into the drawing to win these. Once we get those 100 comments, we'll draw those randomly, and we'll reach out to the person that wins, and hopefully they even can make a little short video showing how happy they are to have the filters or them using them, or at least write something and we'll let everybody know who won. But there'll be giveaways in each one of these survival videos, and there's going to be some nice stuff that we're doing giveaways on that's coming up later in these episodes. I mean, like tent heaters kind of giveaways. So subscribe now, like the channel, hit the bell to be notified, and stick with us. And I hope you learned something today and learned how easy it is to filter water and how easy it is to store something like this. I mean, you could keep one of these in your vehicle, you could keep one in your house. If you got disrupted or thrown and didn't know which way was up, at least you'd have some fresh water. So thanks for watching the video. I'm out for now, and we'll catch up with you later.